Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today. When I take a critical examination of Christian Obumseli, it's looking to me like he may have reaped what he sowed. Now, your Christian Obumseli was a Nigerian man who wound up losing his life when his girlfriend Courtney Taylor, a model on Instagram and OnlyFans, wound up taking his life. Now, your Christian Obumseli has been shown to go on places like Twitter and go out here bashing up black women from America like a piñata. And in many of his comments on Twitter, he says that black women are ignorant, black women disgrace themselves on TV, and he also called black American women akatas. And the akata word is a slur that Africans use as derogatory towards black Americans, and I'm thinking that your Christian Obumseli wound up putting up some seeds into the ground as related to him bashing black women that grew up to become thorns and briars when he started to deify and worship white women. Now, the great irony here is that while your Christian Obumseli was out here bashing up black women on social media, he was a cyber simp who was getting involved with a white female predator, Courtney Taylor. And as he was sitting there on social media, going out here attacking black women, what he was doing out here was getting involved with a white woman who was just as dangerous as what he assumed black women to be. Because your Courtney Taylor was out here on social media posting up all of these racy pictures, and as this spellbound African immigrant was getting caught up in her crystal blue eyes and her creamy white skin, he couldn't see that he was about to be targeted by a deadly predator because he didn't have any sort of social skills on how to vet women overall. As he was looking for the worst in black women, he was actually getting involved with one of the worst white women. And because he was so caught up in the fantasy images she was posting on social media, he couldn't see a basic, simple red flag as related to your Courtney Taylor. Because any female who has racy pictures of herself on social media, like a Instagram, is already a red flag to show you that this female is not somebody you want to deal with. And if she's got a website like OnlyFans where she's got simps paying to look at pictures of her in skimpy lingerie and swimsuits, that already tells you there's something really wrong with this female. But because your Christian Obumseli was spellbound and caught up in having the attention of one of the fantasy white women he wanted to get with, he couldn't see the danger he was getting involved with this deadly Becky. Because this deadly Becky, Courtney Taylor, she clearly had, the elevator wasn't going all the way up to the top floor, because she was again out here posting her pictures of herself on Instagram and OnlyFans, and the only females who do this are female predators. No, any healthy woman out here who cares about herself, she's not going to go out here posting those kind of pictures as related to creating thirst traps and going out here looking for guys to go out here and hit her up in the DMs. No, any woman who has a boyfriend is not going to do that, but your Christian Obumseli thought he had hit the jackpot when this IG model wound up contacting him and looking to pursue a relationship with him, not understanding that if this female was on Instagram and OnlyFans before you met her, chances are there were a lot of other guys hitting her up in the DMs, and a lot of those guys were meeting up with your Courtney Taylor, and a lot of those guys were probably sending her cash apps and PayPal donations. And I say donations, quote unquote, because she was probably meeting up with those guys, dropping the skid mark thong, and giving those guys a taste of the atomic waste. And as those guys were getting a taste of the atomic waste, your cyber simp, Christian Obumseli, was thinking he got the jackpot. He thought he had a fine white woman on his arm, and he thought he was getting a white woman who was going to be so-called better than the black women he was out here bashing and talking bad about. Now, he sat there and talked bad about black people and didn't understand that the white female he was involved with was actually worse than anything he could ever perceive about brothers and sisters out there, and he was going to wind up suffering a horrible fate because he decided to put white women on a pedestal. And as this white woman was on this pedestal, she was looking down at him and basically seeing a means to an end. Because basically what your Courtney Taylor was allegedly doing, as I see it, she was out here looking to use this cyber simp Christian Obumseli basically as a place to stay and a base of operations so that she could go out here and be able to continue turning tricks with these dudes. Now, your Courtney Taylor, I believe, was possibly turning those tricks with these dudes, allegedly, because if you're on OnlyFans and you're on IG and you're making these thirst trap photos, that's something that female predators do just to get some money. They do these kind of pictures because what they want to do is get these guys in the DMs. They want them to get them talking about sending them cash apps, get them talking about sending money to their PayPal, and some of them go and hook up with these kind of guys behind the back of a cyber simp like a Christian Obumseli, because what these women will do is say, oh, I'm going on a shoot, I'm going to a gig, I'm going somewhere. But a lot of times these women are off here going to some motel or some guy's house to give him some atomic waste, and this guy's thinking he's got the greatest girlfriend. Now, when it looks like this relationship with your Christian Obumseli and this Becky things were starting to fall apart, because he found out he probably was feeling insecure because guys were checking for his woman, and they were checking because they saw her on IG, they saw her on OnlyFans, and they saw that they could possibly get her for the right price. And this was one of the things that led to him becoming insecure, and they're leading up to alleged domestic violence. And this guy was sitting there thinking, oh, this Becky is so much better than black women. But no, this woman was not better than black women. No, this woman basically led to his demise, and it led to his demise because he put white females on pedestals, not seeing that this white female was not the ideal he thought she was going to be. And because she was not the ideal he thought she was going to be, your Christian Obumseli wound up losing his life. And I have to say, maybe he reaped what he sowed, because the way he spoke about black women, saying, oh, black women are ignorant, black women are a disgrace. And the great irony is that he got involved with what I believe to be an extremely disgraceful white female, because again, if she's on OnlyFans and she's out here poking out her booty for everybody to see on social media and going out here getting in the DMs with these guys, chances are she's trading that booty for some cash on the side. And this guy's thinking, oh, black women are so bad, but he doesn't see that the white female he got with was even worse. And that's what happens in the case of many of these spellbound bedbugs. They sit there and talk about, oh, the black woman is so bad. And this guy, again, he's bad-mouthing American black women and American black men, but the karma comes back to him, because the same Becky he put on a pedestal was the person who wound up taking his life. And now that his life has been taken, what's even sadder about this whole situation is he's not even going to get any justice at all, because he went out here and got with this white woman, not understanding the properties of white supremacy and racism here in America. No, your Christian Obumseli thought he was better than black people. He thought, oh, I'm an American and an individual, not understanding white supremacy sees us all as a group. And as your white supremacy saw it, this blonde-haired, blue-eyed Becky was somebody they wanted to protect. And in their gynocentric criminal justice system, they went out here and protected the Becky he elevated by making it where he couldn't get any sort of justice as related to his passing. So this white female, because she went out here and invoked the Baker Act and tried to, as I see it, play mentally ill, now she's getting out and she's not even being charged for this man's death. And what's happening is that this man is reaping what he sowed, later than he sowed, greater than he sowed, and he's reaping a bitter harvest because he was the one I went out here and put down those seeds, putting down black women, and they turned into thorns and briars that wound up choking out his life as he got involved with this so-called better white woman. And that so-called better white woman, who was basically a bottom feeder, went out here and did him worse than I believe any American or even African black female would have ever done him. So this is sad karma coming back to your Christian Obumseli, a guy who was sitting up here thinking he was going to be a big shot bedbug and go out here and get with all of these white women and then flaunt them in the face of black people. But what he didn't understand was he had one of these white females who was at the bottom of the barrel, because if your woman is on OnlyFans and on Instagram trading up in the DMs, then she's nothing more than a 304, and she's out here selling herself for the highest bidder. And this guy, he didn't understand that she was basically using him as a tool, and she basically used him as a tool until he was of no further use to her. And now this black widow is going on to the next group of guys, and she's not even thinking about your Christian Obumseli, the man who deified and worshiped this white woman, thinking that because he got a chance to get with a Becky, thinking he got the big deal, and now he's dead and gone, and she's going on, and he's nothing more than a footnote as related to her life. And what's really again sad is that this man will never get justice, but sadly this is what happens when you have a guy who goes out here and talks bad about black women and black people. He gets to deal with the full impact of white supremacy, and that is the saddest part about this whole story of Christian Obumseli. He was so caught up in getting this white woman, he couldn't see the white supremacists who were behind her, and he couldn't see that he had put himself in a situation where he had put his whole life in jeopardy. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my men's issues books to avoid being like a Christian Obumseli, like Stop Simping in Cyberspace, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, and The Man Crisis, you can find all of those books in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com today. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere.